Hello and welcome to Wellness Wednesday, she says with a runny nose, hay fever. Guys, I'm suffering. I'm really suffering today. We've had nice weather, so I can't complain. None of us Brits can complain, but we do, because that's just something that Brits do. We like to complain about the weather. So you may hear more sniffles and sneezes and coughs and all the rest of it that go with hay fever, or I think you Americans call it allergies. But listen, you're speaking English, so the right word is English. Hey, Barley, how are you, darling? I hope you're well. You're cooking. Good. What are you cooking? I'm sure it's wonderful. Do you know what, Barley? I honestly believe that you should have just a pure cooking channel. Just have a playlist with all with cooking on it. And if you don't want to sort of speak, then just play music over it, not copyright music, but do you know what I mean? Because I think your cooking is really very good. Lovely to see you. Anyway, I better put up the link here for anybody. Well, for my girls to come wandering in when they're good and ready. Um, yeah, you're going to hear me clearing my throat a lot. Again, it's the hay fever, or as you Americans will say, it's allergies. It's my allergies are playing up. No, mine's hay fever. It's a pain in the arse. Hey, Edna, nice to see you. I put the link up. Um, I wanted to sorry, I'm doing my shoulders. I'm just doing like a like you really want to know. I'm just doing an exercise my shoulders. Um, Chilly, nothing special. It's hard for me to manage one channel. I also thought many times to separate content. Yes, that's what I would suggest. Not necessarily, excuse me, opening up another channel, but having different playlists. Like if you look on my channel, Barley, even though I know you don't often come on my channel, you'll see that I've actually got different playlists. So we've got Edna in the house. Hey, honey. Biddy biddy boo. Is Edna coming through? Edna, what are we going to do? What are we going to do with this, Edna? Edna, love, sort your mic out. Sort your mic out. Let me have a look in the edit mic settings. You should be okay. Right, it's your end again, Edna. Anyway, guys, what I was thinking of doing, I think we've digressed. We've moved on from what I actually wanted Wellness Wednesday to be about. When I first sort of thought about doing Wellness Wednesday, it was actually going to be something that we would just chill. Yeah, it's good to discuss serious topics, but I really don't want a drama over here. Get your ass up here, Bridge, because she's let me down again. I swear. She's let me down again, girl. So get your ass up here. Ah, Edna. Right, I'm going to unmute it's whatever Wednesday. That's what I should call it. Yeah, whatever Wednesday. Unmute. Let's see. I can't unmute. Okay. Edna, it says that your mic isn't connected. So sort it out. It's whatever Wednesday now. Yeah, do you know what? That's a good idea, Bridge. I like that idea. Hey, girlie.
Hey,
How you doing?
I'm good.
Good. Well, I think that we've gone off the bit that I really wanted to do for Wellness Wednesday, which was we can talk about anything on Wellness Wednesday, but it sort of got to the point where Wednesdays are very similar to Fridays, and we don't really want that. I wanted it to be like, really different. We can still do our drama Fridays. Oh my God. Yes, we can. Bridge, Edna, are you with us,
Yeah, and it's
darling? She's there.
yes, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can
Mhm.
hear you now, darling. How you doing?
Awesome. I'm doing well. Yeah, it's drama every day of the week in girl world. So who are we fooling?
Yeah, you're cracking up a bit.
I was wondering if it was just my earphones, because I was going to change earphones.
No, no, it's Edna. It is Wellness Wednesday, but I saw the man GP talk about you. Oh, really? Did you see? You don't have to talk about it, but it was about you, so you mentioned it. Okay, that's fine. Maybe we'll address it on Friday. We'll see. You know, there's certain people that I feel are not worthy of me talking about. Put it that
hmm
way. Um,
I was watching this other video by this guy that I watch, FD Signifier, and he was going over. He usually does like these little documentary type deals,
yeah.
and he was going over this guy that is like in a totally different community. He's like in the horror film genre. He goes over
Okay.
horror films, but he got into he did an off video talking about another guy who does horror type stuff and talking all bad about him and calling him all kinds of names and stuff like that.
Uh
From
huh.
that, he lost like thousands of subscribers because people were not interested in the drama. Like they
Yeah.
were there to watch him and what he was talking about, not the drama that
Yeah.
that's involving him. And so
Yeah.
like FD Signifier's advice is like, people don't really care about the drama. They're there to see you. I mean, people care about drama, but they're basically there to
Right.
see you.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think
Um.
it depends. I think sometimes you want the drama. Like I think obviously like in this part of, the internet,
hmm
the more drama the better, right? But like if
hmm
you're in other spaces, you don't like if you're going to a doctor or somebody like a professional, for their like professional advice or direction, you don't want them being messy and
hmm
arguing with people, talking mess and stuff. It looks bad and it looks like they're not competent.
Yeah.
But even in this little girl world space, like when all the drama that started off with the creators were fighting, it was a lot of people that were just like, we don't want to watch this. We're not
Yeah.
here for this. We're talking about the fat girls,
Oh,
you know?
that's
Yeah.
true. Yeah. Because,
Yeah.
I mean, to be honest, it's like I do miss, like, I'm gonna get myself in trouble. Anyway, I do miss some creators have shifted from covering foodie as much to doing other things. And it's like, I get that, foodie got super boring, right? So, but
Hmm.
hmm
at the same time, it's like, we do still want the foodie. I mean, it's girl world.
hmm hmm
Yeah. It's a bit like, and I guess we can discuss it a bit before we move on to like the main topic. That I'm
Mhm.
going to give credit to Bridget for this, who sort of pointed me in the direction of this video, which I think is really, really interesting. So we're going to cover that in a little while. But I think while we're on the subject of um people coming to see one thing and perhaps being dished up another thing and not really wanting that. I think that's where I'm feeling with Wellness Wednesday at the moment, because and I've tried different things. Like, I know I've brought the crime over to here, where I don't know if I really want to do crime on Wellness Wednesday.
Man, if I
um
have to say it one more time, I'm so into true crime.
I know, honey, but I'm not sure if it's what I want to do on Wednesday. I don't know.
Okay.
I'm still playing with that idea. I will do it on one of the days. Um,
maybe every other Wednesday, or maybe the top of like the first of the Wednesday or something like that. The first Wednesday of
yeah,
the month.
yeah, yeah. That's a good idea. Because the thing is, there are so many cases that I'd like to discuss about it. because
Yeah,
it's wild what goes on,
it
Mhm.
and
really
there's some British stories I'd like to go over. There's some, American stories. I know you two girls will, want to talk about certain things. So I don't know. I don't know whether I can commit to doing another live stream a week.
Mhm.
I don't
Mhm.
know.
yeah.
So I
Well,
really,
you don't have to commit to anything. You could just say like, "Hey, I wanna do true crime for a minute. Let's see where this takes us," and do it. And when you're
Yep.
tired, just stop.
Mhm.
what and make it sort of separate from Wellness Wednesday and Drama Friday.
You could, sure.
Yeah. Okay. Maybe I'll think about that.
Then there's no rules.
Yeah, I know. I know. I'm just trying to think of what day. But anyway, yeah, yeah, I will think about that because I have got a lot of things sort of lined up in my mind that I want to
Mhm,
talk about. And sometimes I think, oh, if we talk about it on Wellness Wednesday, people that just want to listen because they want to hear us three chatting, they may not want to hear about, Alec Baldwin or something. Do you know what I mean? It's
Mhm.
difficult. And I know we don't often talk, well, we don't really talk backstage about what we're going to be covering. I do
mhm.
think that maybe if we're going to do crime, I think it would be a good idea if we do that. And
Okay.
say we decide on a Sunday, say, or a
Mhm.
Monday, um, then I think we need to sort of put our heads together just so that we're all familiar with the story.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Because otherwise Edna's not going to have a clue, are you, darling?
So, I'm here though.
Edna, okay, so all right, so let me ponder about that and see if I can get my head
Well,
into
listen,
gear about that.
I got a planner today. I think I'm on the right track.
Oh, have you? I
Yeah,
love
it starts
do,
in
do
July,
you
so give me a week.
okay. Do you do journals, Bridget?
Mm-mm. I've tried. I've bought them, and I just don't do it. Like I'm the type of person, like I'll have a piece of paper or a scratch piece of paper. Let me write this down so I can remember, and then I'll lose the piece of paper.
Yeah.
Oh, I Well, I didn't realize that my daughter did journaling, and it's something that I've only really just started doing. Probably because I just do so many other things, it's difficult to sort of commit myself to something else. But I have
Mhm.
just started doing it, and it's I just go mad on the stickers. And I was talking to my daughter about it, and we were laughing so much because we've got so many stickers, there's no place to write anything. So the book is like she showed me hers and I showed her mine and I said, look, there's some days that I can't even write anything in.
I
um
used to love, it was like all the tape and the stickers, the markers, they would, the different trackers and everything. What
oh,
did
I
they
love
call it? Was like a whole journal community that I
yeah.
used to follow. Yeah. Just thinking about it, it's like we would actually or I would actually be watching a video of somebody flipping through their journal. Imagine that.
I know, but I mean, if you're interested in that, do you know there's some artists that do that, and I used to watch them, sort of make up their own journals, which is
Hmm.
quite
Mm,
interesting. So yeah, I mean, I know that there is a community out there. It's not something that I've joined, but it's something that I do quite enjoy. But sometimes I pick it up like I'm watching the TV late at night, and I think, okay, I'll have a look at my journal. I'll just put down what I've done today, and then I'll put, well, I didn't really do bugger all today. I did bugger all today, and then I'll just draw around it or paint a flower or do something on it. But yeah, it's quite relaxing as well. Let's see
yeah,
what
I
the
think you
chat's
can do
saying.
journaling in all kind of different ways.
Yeah. Oh, we've got a few lurkers in. Hi, lurkers. Don't be frightened. Say hello. Um, right. So Barley, he just said he thinks you're too old for this and should take a vacation. I don't know
Jesus
why
Oh,
people
Christ.
what did
care
he
about
call
age.
you? Jan, what do he call you? Grandma? Oh no. He,
Who? Are
oh,
we
I don't
talking about
remember. Girl,
GP?
yeah, he had nicknames. Oh, he was calling, what was he calling DC? Oh, he was calling DC Grandma Dynamite. That was hilarious.
Mm.
Oh,
That's what I'm thinking of.
the
Got
thing
you.
is,
I don't remember what he said about you.
I don't really care.
I,
To be perfectly honest, I don't care. It's like I think myself and Bridge have a very similar mindset in that, and that we genuinely do not care. I don't care what he's got to say about me. I don't.
Jan, you have to go to my Twitter and this video that I reposted not too long ago, where this woman is talking about age and her age, and it's an awesome, amazing video.
Oh right, okay. I do follow people on Instagram. The only problem with Instagram and sharing it on here is that there's quite often music in the background.
Did I say
So
Instagram?
Oh,
I meant Twitter. I meant Twitter.
yeah, no, you did say Twitter, but I
Oh,
was
okay.
thinking the reason I went to Instagram is because I follow quite a few women over there who
Mhm.
are older, and I can't remember their names now, but they're very motivational, and each
hmm.
time I hear a motivational speech, I'm like, oh, I've got to use that again. And then as soon as I've got to use that, I think, but then as soon as I come off Instagram, I've forgotten it completely. And I don't know what the woman's name is or anything like that. But there are a
That's
lot
so
of people
funny.
out there.
Yeah.
There are,
That's
there
what's
are
so kind of like disappointing when they're talking about age, because it's like, if you're doing it right, you're only getting better as you learn more and, you get older. So
exactly.
it shouldn't be like a bad thing. Like, growing older is a blessing.
They use
That's
it as a
basically
derogatory thing.
that's what this woman was talking about. Click that link, Jan, in the private chat.
Right, hang on a minute then. Hang on. Look at her bossing me about. What bloody bossing me
I
about?
know.
I can't do my
Bridget's
own thing.
fired up today.
Right,
Because
okay.
Bridget.
I just saw this woman and I was just cracking up. I was like, she is telling them.
I wonder if it's someone I know. Let me see.
I've
Because
never
I
seen
do
her
follow
before.
quite a few of them. All right, I'm waiting for the cachet. Come on. Annoying. It's spinning and spinning. Right, here
Oh
we go.
gosh.
Let's stop that screen. Oh, yeah. I've seen her. Okay, let's stop. I love these women. I love these women. Right, okay. Let's present that. See, I thought about doing something like this, but then I rambled too much. By the time I got to the point, I'd have run out of time. It'd be like, whoa, what's she say? Right, okay, here we go. At least I know my faults, guys.
Going on with all the women talking about the women trying to compete with them. I actually saw a young woman look like she might have been pushing 30, and she was saying that if you're 40 and older, you've basically wasted your life and you're just trying to compete with these women. And I'm thinking that's the craziest thing I ever heard of. Because first and foremost, there's no competition. We already won. I'm about to be 60 next month. You see this gray hair? That's LAW. That's life and wisdom.
Well
Underneath
done.
this wisdom is 3 degrees, one undergraduate and 2 advanced degrees. I've got more education and learning than you've got life. I am a military
Okay.
weapons, special weapons, handguns, you name it. I've had hand to hand from a Vietnam veteran. I can put you down and out before you have figured it out. So, ladies, let's not play. I can cook for 7 different countries. I can cook the food of several different countries by memory with no recipe and no measurements and break it down to parade rest. So there is no competition. I'm already a mother. I've been married. I've done that. I've traveled the world all across the country. You just waking up, baby. I got street sense. You got to look that up on Google or social media. So when you step on the track, we've already run the race, got the medal, and went home and we relaxing. Enjoy.
That's
I
so
love
good, and that's a
her.
nice way. Yeah, that's a kind way of saying that. I had a friend, she used to always say, "Been there, done that."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah, I say that as well. Right, I'm now going to look. Let me come here. I'm going to look for some of these women. Now you've started me off, Nutbridge.
Right? That was
On
wonderful.
Instagram, who are so good though. Honestly, very similar to her. I wouldn't be surprised if I don't follow her on Instagram. Actually, uh, so it's like, yeah, getting back to what Barley said. Do you know what it is? It's the only thing that they can come for you for,
Mm-hmm.
Barley. So if it's me, the first thing they're going to come for is my age because I'm obviously an old bird. It's like, well, don't you realise I'm old? Do you know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? It
Mm-hmm.
doesn't
Right.
mean that I'm any, that I'm below you just because I'm old. So,
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
just get over it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, right, let me just click on here. Now, I'm going to be careful. Where are we? Who? How do I find out what I've liked and what I haven't liked on here?
On Instagram.
Instagram. Yeah. Okay, I'll share this. Right, how can I? This is my Instagram. Okay. Um. Right. Okay. So we don't need to look at that. So if I go on to there, he's brilliant. He is brilliant. I'm laughing. I'm laughing. Right, I have to explain. He's called I Am Jonathan Peter. Okay.
uh,
And he puts up these videos where it's like the first time of going, being a
oh,
lifeguard or something like
uh,
that. First time of doing this.
Oh,
And he's so funny. And look how many he's
yeah,
got.
I've seen
7
these.
million.
wow. Wow.
7 million, and he doesn't have to say a word. So let's play a couple of these, shall we? Just for the shits and giggles, because he's
Yeah.
so funny.
Okay,
Oh,
read the caption for us, Jan.
right. So this one is first day at a Copa America football game. Okay, I don't know what that is, but yeah, this is his first day at that. What sort of drugs are on?
Wow.
Oh, he's got one leg. What? What? Is this Copa American thing, football thing? Is this for disabled people then?
It looks like it. I've never heard of it.
Okay, someone here has put. I don't want to go to hell for laughing at some of these. Oh,
Right.
okay.
So like the quietest.
Right. What? Oh, oh, oh.
Oh man.
Yeah, okay. All right. Let's watch another one. That's a bit
You know
clearer
how
than that.
pissed you be.
What?
Somebody do
Can you
you
imagine?
know how
It's up
pissed
there with
he
his
is.
camera. It's up there with his camera, and someone's nicked his bloody camera. Right,
I
come
have
on.
no idea.
Oh, why can't I? Okay, let's try this one. Oh no, we don't want that one. No, I want the one from yesterday. The one from yesterday was good. Right, I think I've got too many of these open. Hang on a minute. Let's go over to. Some of them are absolutely hilarious. Right. I know I'm following him. Let's just get him up. I want to see. Hang on a minute. Do I get down here then? Ah, okay. This one. First day in a gym. Are you ready, guys? First gym.
Put that work in, buddy. Put that work in.
What?
Oh, get out of here.
Lego pieces.
Oh my gosh.
She face planted. Wow.
This one
Oh
made herself
wow.
look. That's awful.
Ma'am, your insides are coming out.
This one's going for a stroll. This one's having a frenzy.
Oh my gosh.
Is that Doja Cat?
Oh my gosh. Wow.
Look at the guy next to him.
She's in a dress.
I know.
Oh
This one
man,
doesn't lose any of his pre-workout. Okay, we don't want to listen to that one. Right, hang on. Why is it making it so hard for me? I don't understand. He's only got 55 he's done more than 55 posts. Surely the computer doesn't like me doing this because I've come on. No, we want to go back the other way.
Are they usually reels? Maybe you need to
Yeah, he uses other people's. Right, what's this? First day as a parkour athlete.
I can't.
Oh my god. Oh.
Wow.
I don't know how they do it. Do you?
And he's standing there with a Band-Aid.
Oh my god. I think they're all crazy.
You really? Because I didn't even notice the
Oh. Oh. Oh no. Stop. Stop, man. Look at this birthday.
Yeah, that's it. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Yes!
Oh. Oh. Ow.
painful one.
Oh no, don't. Stop it. Ah. Right, I don't know what that one is. Hang on. Right, Thursday later. That looks like one of Hussey's meals. Sorry, couldn't help myself. They're a robot.
I mean, this ain't the chicken noodle soup that I ordered. But I'll take it. Soup with a live action ratatouille versus stew a little.
Oh. Ooh. Oh my god.
Wow.
I'd like to go there.
That is cool. Oh, see, this is
No, not for me.
It's like those videos of the Indian street food. There we go.
It looks really tearful there. Right, play one more. Thursday working at a trampoline park.
This is majestic.
Do a flip!
Oh, sorry. How to do a backflip.
Oh no!
Oh, Oh no! Oh. Oh my god!
Wow.
Oh no! Don't do it! Don't do it, Mavis! Oh! Ah. Oh! Ow! 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 That hurt! Oh!
Oh my goodness.
Dad still. He's not got a child with him. Oh, thank God for that. Oh my god! Oh no! Oh!
Oh my
Oh!
goodness.
Oh! Oh! Okay, one more girls. All right. Okay, at a
Oh my
bowling
gosh.
alley.
Oh my gosh.
Was he blind again?
Oh my goodness.
Oh no!
You play too much.
Oh, that's me. That's me at a bowling alley. Danny.
Oh my goodness. Oh no.
Oh. Oh, so if you want to watch that one, well, I think he's good. I think he's funny. But I wanted to find the older women, but we're half an hour in now.
Here.
We'll do that another day. But thanks for that, Bridge. That was good. That was good. So our Bridge recommended I have a look at this today, and I thought, yeah, this is right up our street. I think we've turned everybody off. Everyone's gone, probably because French Fried Girl's gone live. But hey, we don't care. So first of all, we're going to move into what I like to call the Wellness Wednesday thingy bob. What's it called? Studio. Okay, this is the Wellness Wednesday studio, and today we're going to look at this. That once I can get it up on the screen. I don't know if you've seen this, Edna. Let us know if you have. But I just thought it's a really good subject to. There we go. Right, so you two are down there. Let's shift you up.
See, I like it. It's Edna is over there in the orange working in her desk. That's you in the middle with your two cats, and then that's me on the end with Gordo.
You got it! Oh, nice!
Oh, nice.
How cute is this? Isn't it?
Bridge, the intellectual, of course she knew.
Yeah, I know, and I gave us all plants. We've all got a plant each.
Yeah.
And I thought, yeah, we'll call this the studio. This is what this is called, the Wellness Wednesday studio. So yeah, I don't just sit back and do nothing, when we're not going live. So anyway, let's have a look at this. The subject is called, is Meghan Markle black or white? Bridge, do you want to explain? Because we do get people that do watch after, even though they don't come to the live. Do you want to explain what this is about, how you found it, what you thought of it?
So I found it because I follow this lady in, what is she, NYTN.
Yeah.
She's from New York, lives in Tennessee, and she actually started doing her genealogy, her family tree and stuff like that. And she has always identified as an Italian American. She sees herself as white. And when she started doing her family tree, she found out that I think either her grandma or her great grandmother comes from Louisiana. And they have the Creole, they have the Creoles down there. Found out her great grandmother was black. But they kept it
Wow.
kept it a secret all those years. The great grandma moved to New York, and she became like, I'm French, and that's why I like have a little bit of a darker skin tone. Never told any of her family that she
Yeah.
had black ancestry.
Oh my
Mhm.
God.
Hmm.
I
Well,
So
mean,
this,
can you blame them though? To be
yeah.
honest, it's like like when I was younger, I used to think, oh, like outrageous. Like, how could you deny
Hmm.
yourself like that?
Hmm.
But yeah, and some
Hmm.
people really can't pass.
Yep. Well,
yeah.
that's exactly what she did. And so this lady, her great granddaughter, basically has now found her family in Louisiana. Louisiana. Some of them are black, some of them are white. So,
Mm,
Really
that's so cool.
interesting.
mhm,
So I'm going to show my complete ignorance here. What's Creole? I've heard of it.
mhm.
Is it a type? Is it a place that they come from? I mean, what is it? Are they
It's kind of like
Africans or?
it's like a group of people. It's like
Mhm,
a French,
mhm,
and is it Native American as well, and Black people, African American, and it's just like the culture, like in Louisiana, it's just the
mhm.
area where like what they do is just like the spicy food. Like if you look at Louisiana, like kind of like the stereotype of it, I think that's kind of the idea of Creole.
It's like a cultural
Like
thing of
Beyonce Creole.
yeah, it's a mixture of people. I actually had one guy, he was a like a Middle Eastern guy, and he was asking me what I was, and I was like, I'm black. And he was like, well, no, like your ancestry, like your grandma or your great grandmother. And I had brought up the fact that like on my dad's side, my great grandmother is from Louisiana and she is Creole. And he
Mhm.
was like, oh, well, you're Creole. And I was like, no, I'm black. Like, no, I'm black. What are you
Right.
talking about?
Oh,
It's
that's
weird because I remember I met a Black girl and she ended up being very interesting. And she was telling me, "Oh, I'm this, I'm that, I'm whatever." And I'm like, "Wait, what?" Like she took a DNA test and she
Mhm.
considered herself like every, like box she could check.
oh really? Do you know
Yeah. And then,
wasn't there a band called the Creole? Oh, what was it? Wasn't there a band called Coco and the Creoles or something? I've forgotten. And they had a really famous song.
Mhm.
I don't
Oh, I can't
know.
remember it. It was back in the day. Okay. Hi, Sherry. Nice to see you. Isn't Creole Southern and French?
Well, it's in the South, but it's just basically a
Right.
mixture of people, like a mixture of ethnicities, just a
I
mixture of
like.
ethnicities, basically.
Sounds a bit like Jamaica.
Mhm.
Hmm.
Jamaica's like that as well. They've got a bit of every race in there as well.
Hmm.
Okay, so this is only on for 20 minutes. I don't want to use all of it because I don't want to, get struck. So, and I know I said that wrong. So yeah, let's listen to what Shasta says, or to what Shasta say. What I will say, when I went onto her channel to begin with, she's actually done an interview with her dad.
Hmm.
But I thought, well, we'll look at this first anyway. But if you are interested in her as a person, check out her channel and yeah, have a look through it. Especially the personal ones where she's talking to her father. Maybe we'll
Hmm.
have a look at that another day. All right then. So let's get on with this. So it's called "Is Meghan Markle Black or White?" Okay.
Light skin
Yes.
but black as hell, an enigma. They don't know, well, how black does she feel? How black is she? And I think they questioned her blackness to justify who she is. Like, how black are you? And they're not worried about 47%. They meant inside.
Hi, I'm Danielle Romero, and I'm so glad you're here on my channel. And today's conversation is a little unique because I normally don't touch trending topics, talking genealogy, history, things like that. If you haven't noticed, Meghan Markle has been in the news a lot. And I don't really follow the monarchy, although I'm starting to get kind of sucked into it a little bit. Something that has struck me, how often the topic turns to her race and her identity. And sometimes it's her drawing attention to it, sometimes it's the media. Kind of a great example, who's black? And are you black because you have some black ancestry? or what does it mean to be Black, especially in America?
Yeah, so that's what we're going to cover today, guys. Because I've learnt ever since talking to Bridge and Edna that my definition of Black is different to theirs. I'll put it that way. And I think that it is termed differently and seen differently in America. So yeah, that's what I'll say.
So leave me a comment below. Is Meghan Markle Black or not?
I'd say not. I'd say she's mixed race, the same as me.
And I think in America, I think it's changing, but before it was kind of just like you're either Black or you're white. If you are mixed race, then you are Black. But
Why?
I think that's
why are you Black though? Because if you're half and half, like I am,
I'll tell you why. I'll
Okay.
tell you why. It's because of the history. It's the history of the one drop rule in America. So basically, if you have anybody within your family tree that is Black, and you may be white, blonde hair, blue eyed, you're still Black. And that's the history of America.
But how far back does that apply to then?
Doesn't matter. One drop rule.
People would.
You got,
Right. So my blue-eyed. Okay, I'm going to put this out here. My blue-eyed, my blonde blue-eyed daughter is Black in your words. Then.
I think it's slowly changing. I think it's changing. Yeah, it's changing now. But as far as the history of America goes, yes, she would be Black.
That's weird.
Oh, you should watch this. You've probably seen it, Edna. What is that movie? Oh my goodness, what is that movie? Imitation of Life.
I've seen it.
Okay.
It's one of my favorite profound movies. I talked about it. I've shown parts of it on my lives before.
Oh, I haven't seen it. I haven't seen that.
Yeah, it's incredible. And Sarah Jane, how can I remember her name? And I can't even remember what I did yesterday. Insane. But yeah, that Sarah Jane, was awful. I did talk about it. Do you remember, Edna? I think were you on panel with me then?
I don't know if I was, but I don't. I've never seen this movie. I've heard about it, but I've never seen it.
With Lana Turner, isn't it? It's one of her movies.
They did two versions. They did a black and white version. That's the best one, and then they did a color version later.
It's so profound. I think they should show that in schools. Forget bloody Shakespeare and all the other crap the kids have to watch. I think they should watch a film like that.
One of my sororities,
maybe The Color of Friendship.
The Color of Friendship.
Yeah, it has to. Well, never mind. That might be off base. Good for you, Bridge.
Edna, stay on topic, love. Stay on topic.
I'm like, what is that?
I didn't decorate this room.
It would take too long to explain it, to wrap it back around, because it makes sense in my mind. But as I thought about it, I'm like, it's going to take me like 10 minutes to explain that. So
okay, I just looked it up. I'm going to read the synopsis. It says in 1977, two girls from opposite sides of the world come together and change each other's lives. Young white, is it Mari Bach, lives in apartheid South Africa with her wealthy family. Piper Dellums, the daughter of a Black U.S. congressman in Washington, prepares to welcome Mari to the United States for a semester abroad.
Okay. What's it called?
The Color of Friendship.
Okay, I might check that out. But the girls are older then, are they?
No, they're like high school, middle school age.
Okay. Because in Imitations of Life, they're very young to begin with, and they meet on a beach. And yeah, I mean, there are some things in it that are, politically incorrect nowadays, I would say, but it's such a good movie, and it really.
You have to watch the original one in black and white, Jan. That was actually even better.
Oh, was it?
Because they don't meet on a beach in the original one is that the mother, the black mother, takes a job as I guess the maid in the
Yeah.
white woman's house.
Yeah.
That's how they meet.
Oh right. Whereas
Mhm.
in the one I saw, they're on a beach and they
Mhm.
get friendly and they're sort of chatting and the two girls are playing because I don't know how I can remember it, but there's like a white guy with a great big belly on the beach and the kids are like, messing about, building sandcastles on his belly or something. I don't know, but that's how they met. But it's such a profound movie. Can you remember who the black actress was in it?
Mm-mm. Because I saw
Can you?
both. I saw both versions, but I saw the black and white version first, and then when I saw the color version, I was like, it was all right.
Yeah, it was dumbed down. Was it? Was it dumbed
Yeah,
down for like Hollywood? Yeah, I can
yeah.
understand that. It's a bit like Dreamgirls.
Hmm.
Dreamgirls, the movie, is nothing like the theatre show. I saw the
Hmm.
theatre show and it was bloody brilliant. And also there's controversy there in that the person or the woman who actually got the program or the film publicized was tossed aside by by Hollywood, if you like, for Jennifer. Who is it? Well, it's Jennifer
That's it.
Holiday.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah. Hmm.
yeah. Jennifer Holiday was the actress, and I
Hmm.
saw her on an award show, and I hadn't even seen the stage play,
Hmm.
and I was just blown away by her, and
Her
then
voice. Yeah.
oh my God, she was amazing. And
Hmm.
then when I looked further into it, when I researched it, I found out that she was tossed aside. It's actually almost, her blooming life story, what actually happened to her, because she was tossed aside for somebody, a prettier woman or whatever.
Well,
Um,
Jan, that the rumor is that that play is the story of what's her Diana Ross and her group.
oh,
The
really?
Supremes,
Hmm.
yeah, that's what I
Hmm.
heard.
Hmm.
Why did the Supremes turn on her then?
Because Diana Ross wasn't the strongest voice in the group. It was
Yeah.
it was the other woman, and she was supposed to be lead singer, but then Diana Ross started doing her thing and started sleeping with like Barry Gordy to get a leg up, and
Oh
then they gave her center
man,
stage.
I
I mean,
see.
that's
I've
just the
heard that.
rumor. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
right?
no, I've heard that story as well, and I mean that's not the only reason do you know I never really got into Diana Ross, and I don't know why.
Hmm.
I just thought I don't know. I like sort of what's the word, genuine people, and I never saw her as a genuine entertainer.
Hmm.
On an authentic entertainer. I don't know what it was, but yeah, I think she sort of rode through, or she got all the what's the word? She got accredited too much because of
Hmm.
her influence with Berry Gordy
Hmm.
and everybody else. And that happened a lot actually in Motown. When that label first started, that happened an awful lot. And there were like brothers that had been playing together, been singing together for a long time, like the Kendricks brothers, I think.
Hmm.
There was Eddie Kendricks, and I think there was another brother, and they used to fight. One of them didn't really like Motown because they didn't, they wanted their music to be, authentic to them,
Hmm.
whereas Motown had its own sound and it was a good sound, but I I tend to go for people that are a bit different to other
Hmm.
people, and
Kind of tough.
sorry.
Sorry, Jen, I didn't mean to like cut you off. I was just thinking out loud. Sorry.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So, you know, and it's like Marvin Gaye. I don't know if he. I think he was signed to Motown, but I don't think he stayed with Motown for very long. I think he moved away from Motown.
Mhm.
So there were a lot of black artists who did very well because they signed to Motown, but there were also some black artists that didn't want to sign to Motown because they felt as if their music was diluted. Does that make
Mm.
sense?
Mhm.
So there were some that sort of tried to move away, and I'm trying to think of the other record labels at the time. I know the Jamaican ones. There were Trojan. Have you heard of Trojan?
Mm-mm.
They were a big reggae one, and I've got a picture of a label in my head, and I can't think. Anyway, we've got away from we've got away from
Mhm.
Meghan, but yeah, it's quite interesting. Yeah. All right, let's get on with this. Yeah, thanks, Edna, for your tiny bit of input there, darling.
Gosh, leave Edna alone.
She knows I love her. She knows I love her. Come back, Edna.
Let me know. We're going to join Jeremy Simeon again and ask the question, who is Black?
My name is Jeremy Simeon. I'm a Louisiana Creole. I'm an art and antique collector and historian, and just all around kind of a history buff. And I'm Louisiana based.
So I don't really follow the monarchy stuff, like at all. I didn't really know who Meghan Markle was, really, but the stuff started coming into my feed because the world is obsessed with her. And I was like, I started to see headlines that actually made me pause. And it was basically about like, is she Black? Is she white? She said this, she said that. That would be a really good vehicle for talking about who is Black. And I know I don't love saying Black, but that is the language of the media when they're talking about her. That's what they're using. So I'm like, well, what are they talking about?
Well, I know who she is because of this obsession kind of with a race. And of course, because of some of the interesting comments that certain members of the royal family allegedly made, because it has captivated America's, and not just America, but the world, but I would say especially America's obsession with race. And I think that has been with division of this strained relationship.
Yeah, I do feel that it. I mean, I don't know all countries, but I do feel that America does have a very strong viewpoint on who's Black and who's white. Whereas
Mhm.
I don't think it's the same in Europe.
Mhm. Mhm.
Um, and I think, you know, Europeans or, you know, Brits, dare I say, accepted the multicultural um races
Mhm.
a lot quicker and more in a blanket form, if I can put it that way, to the way Americans do.
Mhm.
Because I mean, I have heard of the one drop rule. I think my daughter told me about that once.
Mhm.
Um, and I'm not sure if we ever had that over here. I don't
Probably
know.
not. Probably not because it all stems from slavery in America.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I can kind of understand that.
Mhm.
Um, but I think I'm a bit sort of perplexed about, you know, like the question I asked you, how far back does it go? How far back in your ancestral tree um does it, does it go back to for it to be viable?
Let me tell you, there have been
Well,
court
really,
cases.
oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was going to say there have been court cases in America, like back in the day, like in the 50s, where interracial marriage was illegal in America. I saw one movie about it. It was based on a true story about this couple that wanted to get married. Both of them looked white, but we find out that they were in court about it because he was going to go to jail. What one of his ancestors were Black, so their marriage was illegal. So they're going to send him to jail for
where
marrying a white woman, and he's sitting up there looking white.
where was this?
This was somewhere in America. It was down south somewhere.
Oh God.
Hmm. Hmm.
That's awful. I think maybe the Brits look at it in a slightly different way because of the British Empire. and it was the British Empire that instigated the slave trade, the European slave trade. Now, I can't speak on the American slave trade. I think your slave trade is different to ours. I really do, because the British Empire didn't bring your slaves to you, did it? Or the British Empire didn't go to America and pick up Africans and then take them to another country, did they?
America went to Africa and brought the people back.
Did they?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I see. I don't know anything about that. I don't know anything about the Americans' slave trade. So American whites went to where? Where in Africa did they go?
West Africa.
Poor West Africa. They, I mean, we went there as well. I say we. The British Empire went there as well, and that's why I'm like, if you want to split it down the middle, I'm half. I've got a lot of Nigerian blood in me as well, which is West African.
Yeah, that's how most Black people in America, they have ancestry from either Nigeria, Ghana. It's all the west coast of Africa.
So do you know when that happened, Bridge?
Well, what happened?
The slave trade, was it going at the same time as the British Empire?
I don't know. I don't know anything about the British Empire.
Oh, that's interesting. You don't know anything about the British Empire? Okay. See, I think the Americans worked separately to the Europeans, because what also happened, like with yes, it was the Brits that went over to America. No, not America, Africa, and also to places like Jamaica, to the islands, the Caribbean islands, and took the what do you call it, the original Jamaicans and islanders, and turn them into slaves. But we didn't drop them off into America. And the other thing that I think is quite interesting, it's what actually happened, was that there were a lot of other countries, European countries, that also did the same thing, like France. And although the French weren't very good at it, but so in the British Empire time, they called it colonization. I mean, did the Americans do that? Was there American colonization, or was it just slaves?
I believe it was just like, so that's how I'm thinking now, oh, that's how all those Black people got to Jamaica and Dominican Republic and Haiti and stuff like that. It was the Europeans. But no, it was,
they were already there, honey.
No,
they were already there. The Black people were
so basically the white people went to Haiti and took it over. That's why they speak French over there.
Yes.
Yeah. And then in Haiti, the Blacks had that uprising to get them out. Okay, I got it.
Yeah. So you had the French that did it. You had the Dutch. That's why you get a certain group of Africans that speak Dutch, because they were quite prolific as well in colonization. And you also had the Spanish. They were the three main European: Dutch, French, Spanish, and British. So all these white people, they go to these countries where where the islanders are all Black. Okay, Jamaica was all Black people. Okay, until colonization. So of course, then we have to throw in the Chinese as well, and also some Indians as well. Okay, with Jamaica. So, but originally, those countries were Black people. But when you get the Europeans come over, that's when they start, they fancy a bit of chocolate, and then you end up mixing all the That's how I always put it. That's how you end up mixing all the, the different countries together. And that's why Jamaica has got such a mixture of people, because there was so much colonization. Maybe we should do a video on that one day, and then I can bring up facts and, we can look at it, because it's really interesting that yours is so different. I've always wondered.
I think what happened with America is that, like, all the European countries came over because, like, you have New England, the New England area, which is the East Coast, where I think basically the British came. Then in the South, like the Louisiana area, where the Creoles and stuff were, that was French. We have some Spanish parts too. So those people kind of became American, and then they went over to Africa to bring the people back over to America.
Okay. What once said sort of mixed in with the Black Americans. Okay.
No, there weren't. I mean, I'm sure there were some Black Americans here, or some Black people here, but there weren't really any Black people here, because the white people took over from the Native Americans.
Okay, so the Native Americans are actually what we used to call Indians.
Yes, yeah, we called them Indians too. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I'm so worried about saying the wrong blooming word without offending people. But I understand that they're the indigenous people. So you get some indigenous people now, don't you, who are very fair, and they've got blonde hair, some of them. And I guess that their ancestry, there was some sort of Black in there, or some Indian in there. And that's why, that's why a lot of them are fair. Am I right saying that? Or
I think the Native American, Indigenous, Indian story is their history is kind of it's a lot too. It's nuanced too, because there was a point in time too that that Native Americans were getting land from the government, and so what a lot of white people did is say that they had Native American ancestry. They paid they call them $5 Indians. They paid their little $5 to say that they were Native American so they could get land too. So I think there's a lot of white people running around thinking that they have indigenous ancestry, but they really don't.
Oh, interesting. Edna, do you know anything about this? Are you interested in like history? Because I love history, especially when it's to do with, my history. I think it's interesting. Do you know very much about it, or about American history?
Not this specific topic, no.
Okay. I think it'd be quite good to discuss, though, at some point. Let's move on. We'll jump through the advert.
Between Prince Harry and Prince William.
Even just using the word Black. But how do you think the media is using it? And what do you think they mean by that? If they're saying she's Black or she's not Black, like what is Black?
I think Black is not white. It's the opposite of white, actually. So I think when the media uses it, they're not trying to say, oh, well, she's mixed, she's something else. No, they're trying to let you know she is not white, and she is on that opposite end of the spectrum, which is Black, regardless of the fact that she's actually mixed race and biracial. Again, they're using these antiquated terms now. Black. A lot of so-called Black people don't identify as Black. They would say, no, I'm African American, or I'm of African descent. And some older people would say Negro. It seems like there's a constant evolving designation for people of African descent. And I use people of African descent because I think it's important to note Africa. Africa is huge. Okay. It's the second.
It's very interesting what he said there, because that's very sort of the way I've been brought up, really. I mean, because I was brought up in care, I fairly recently got my paperwork from when I was put into care. I was put into care from birth by a white mother. But even though I had a white mother, there is nothing in my paperwork to say I was mixed race. They always called me black. I was a black child with
Wow.
with negroid features. I mean, honestly, if you were to see some of the things that these people wrote about me, you would be so angry. And it took me a long time to deal with that. But then I have to realize I was in Britain is very racist. It's very racist. And it's only now that, or fairly recently, that it's like, oh, no, no, we're not racist at all, and blah, blah, blah. Yes, you are. And I can tell by just some of the things that they wrote about me. Even as a babe in arms, I was a black baby. Nothing was written about the fact that I was mixed race. So, yeah, he's
largest continent. It's extraordinarily diverse. But I don't believe we want to believe that Africa is diverse and that Black people are diverse and not a monolith.
I actually I just Googled, I wasn't being picky. I just pulled 3 headlines that talked about her and her race. I want to read them to you, like just the 3 headlines, and we can just like talk about them. First one, Prince Harry says Meghan Markle is, quote, not visibly Black, but experienced racism from the British press. 2,
100%. 100%. I agree with that.
Meghan Markle thought being biracial could protect her from racism. She was wrong. And 3, the world is souring on Harry and Meghan. Black fans have always had mixed feelings.
Well, it's interesting because that remark or that comment came supposedly from her husband, right?
Yeah, I think it was from his book, his memoir. He said that.
I think what maybe he was saying when we talk about passing and or racial ambiguity, where somebody could look at it and be like, is she Colombian? I wonder if she's Cuban. I wonder if she's from the West Indies.
I have to tell you something. People have been so unsure about my origins because, I'm fair, but then I'm dark for a mixed race. So, the black people can tell immediately that I'm mixed, but some white people are so bloody ignorant they can't tell. So I understand that ambiguity.
I've met people.
Go on, Edna.
I was gonna say, like, I've definitely met mixed race people. Like, there's a coworker that became a friend of mine, where I just knew her as a Black girl, right? Like, typical social media, everything. Nothing about her said anything other than a Black girl. And, our relationship progressed. I'm doing her taxes. She refers me to her mom. I'm doing her mom's taxes. It is a white woman.
Did you find that strange? Could you not look at the girl and see that she was mixed?
Not at all. I saw a complete Black.
No, that's weird.
I don't think it's really weird because I've met many people that have been, because I worked with a girl at the gym, and she was mixed race. She was half Black, half white. And when she would tell people that she was mixed race, like nobody believed her. And like me and her kind of looked alike. People would get us confused all the time. But she's just like, no, I'm half white. And she would have to bring her sister in, and her sister looked mixed race. Like you could tell that she was, but this girl, she looked Black. And nobody ever believed her.
Yeah. It's weird. I mean, my son, I'll say about the eldest boy, he's the musician. And when he first started being a musician, he used to work in a pub. And he used to say to me, people could never work out what his origins were. And so many times, and even to this day, people question him because he looks a bit, but then he's got more of my side than his father's side. His father is white, obviously, a Londoner. Um, but my eldest boy looks more like me. He's taller than his sisters and his brother. And, you can tell he's my son. Whereas the other three, I don't think they look like me. And I mean, I've had people on here try and twist this story because I once brought up the fact that my eldest daughter is blonde with blue eyes. And the reason I brought it up was not because I I've had people say, "Oh, she's only said that because she thinks it's a tick in the right box to say that she's got a white daughter and all this crap." It's got nothing to do with that. But people are going to run with their own narratives. The reason I brought that up is because at that particular time I was talking to somebody. I'm not going to say who it was. We all know who it was. And I was querying her heritage because I thought she was mixed race. So I'd said to her something like, "Oh, are you, where are you mixed race?" And she was like, "I'm not going to tell you." And I thought, "Oh, all right, fair enough." And we got onto Black Lives Matter for some reason. I don't know how it went. And I said to her, "Look," I said, "I've got my blonde, blue-eyed daughter is the first one in the line of Black Lives Matter." And people look at her as if to say, "What the hell are you doing here?" Do you know what I mean? Because she's seen as a fraud. Unless I'm standing by the side of her, people don't see the black in her. Some people do, but a lot of people don't. So she's white passing. And I've had conversations with her where she said, "I hate that, Mum. I hate that people think, or I hate that I get white privilege." Now, people don't understand that because they don't live that life. But I'm telling you, that daughter hates the fact that she gets white privilege. She knows she can drive anywhere and she's not going to get pulled up by a cop. Whereas she knows if she had a tan like her mother, then she might get pulled up.
Yeah.
So I wasn't allowed to explain what I meant when I said about that. And it's quite a deep hole to go into because my daughter's she's very outspoken. She's like me. And she has so much pride in the fact that she's got African ancestors and her mother is, half Jamaican. She's got so much pride about that, but she can't speak on it. There's only certain places that she can speak on it because otherwise people are gonna, they're not gonna believe her. Listen, she's the only one out of my 4 kids that went the whole black route when it came to music. She would go to all these clubs that were playing the heavy black music, R&B, and I can't remember what it's called now. And she loved all that. She'd be the only white face in there, and she'd have people looking at her. She'd have black girls looking at her, giving her, the look. So, yeah, when I talk about her, I don't talk about her as if, I should have props because I've got a blonde, blue-eyed daughter. And that wasn't the reason I brought it up. The reason was because this woman that I was talking to was refusing to tell me where she came from. It didn't really matter that much. I just thought we might have been able to, have some sort of conversation about it. But no, she wasn't going to tell me what it was. But I then said to her, "Do you know what?" I said, "One of my daughters is actually, blonde, blue-eyed." I said, and she would be absolutely, oh, that's it. Didn't I say she would wipe the floor with you as regards Black Lives Matter and, ancestral discussion? because, but I didn't get that far because people then jumped on. Oh,
Yes.
she's getting her daughter to go and beat her up and this, that, and that. I was like, oh my God. These people don't understand. And I've tried, I really try. It kind of upsets me, actually, that my daughter cannot be be the proud black woman that she wants to be purely because she didn't have, the same amount of melanin as everybody.
Well, no, because have you heard of Rachel Dolezal?
Oh, is she on Drag Race?
No,
Oh,
no.
okay.
Rachel Dolezal, she was very prominent in the Black community. Very, very, very light skin, blue eyes, all that curly hair, and she was like the president of her NAACP, National Advancement of Colored People. She was in all of these Black organizations. She was an ethnic studies professor, African American studies, and stuff like that. She's very prominent in the Black community, and she looked white. And then we found out later that she actually was white.
Oh my
She was
God.
passing as a Black person, as a Black woman, a light skinned Black woman.
Why?
I don't know.
Hey Capone, nice to see you. Yeah, right, it is sad. And what's also sad is that there's people, because of the community, there's people that have painted that story as a completely, false narrative. That's not what I was trying to say. My
Yeah,
kids,
yeah.
they're all different shades,
Mhm.
and I'm as proud of them as each and every one of them. It doesn't matter to me what color they are, but in reality, it does matter to them. That
Mhm.
daughter specifically, and she is the first one that's getting on the plane to Jamaica to find her ancestors. Do you know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
So yeah, but we're getting back to this shit community over here that will jump on absolutely anything. And I heard some guy actually say, "Oh no, I heard some girl actually say, a woman, that oh yeah, well she's only using it because she thinks it's a good thing." And I was
Mhm.
like,
Mhm.
you haven't got a bloody clue. You
Mhm.
really haven't got a clue. But anyway, I'm not going to address any of that now. Here we after addressing it for the last 20 minutes. Sorry about that.
And they may not associate her as a person who would just say, "Oh, I'm an African American," or identify as Black or person of African descent. And of course, she is biracial. If I remember correctly, her mother is a person of African descent. I would imagine identifies as African American, and
Mhm.
her father is white. And so I think what he's saying is, upon the first look, you may not recognize her as somebody of African descent. And of course, the real deal is, so what?
Step into Wix Studio, where creative
Okay, that gives us a chance. So she was a strong voice though and did a lot of good in her positions, but oh lordy, I don't understand why she would do that.
You know what? This lady that you're on, this NYTN, she actually has another video that I was just watching earlier where she goes over the pretendians. So there's these white women, a lot of them. There's a lot of them that have popped up. These white women that have pretended that they were Native American. They're indigenous.
Oh,
Yes.
oh, maybe
Yes.
we can do that next week because I
Hmm.
think it's quite interesting. Oh, it's very interesting.
Hmm.
Transracial is a thing now. What
Hmm.
is transracial?
You're crossing racial barriers. You're a white woman that's now Black. You identify as Black. You're a white woman that identifies as Indian,
Oh,
whatever it is.
It's like Ariana.
Transracial.
It's like Ariana Grande. She went from being like a light skinned Black woman to being I think she went white, and then she started like looking Asian.
Oh my gosh.
And what is she actually? Do you know?
She
Does
white.
I
anyone
think
know
she's
what she?
white. She's like
Mm-hmm.
Italian or something. I think she's
Yep.
Italian.
Why did I
Mm-hmm.
do that? Yeah, that. Okay. Ollie London is a. Hang on. Ollie London is a white British guy who identified as Korean and got a new
Mm-hmm.
face.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. He got all these surgeries. It was like absolutely ridiculous.
Oh my god.
Mm-hmm.
That's insane. Okay, let's just get these adverts out of the way. Okay. All right, let's go.
What does that mean? But what he's saying is she still experienced feeling the racism and maybe those feelings of other than. He's trying to explain that just because she's not of a very dark complexion and her phenotypes do not, read to most people as automatically as person of African descent or black, that she still has had encounters and feelings of otherness. So instead of saying who counts as black, maybe we should just become more conscious about not discrediting someone's blackness
Mm-hmm.
and also recognizing that somebody can acknowledge their blackness or their African ancestry, but not also fit into a mold that we believe is black,
Yeah,
or a person who's black, because they themselves may may be proud of their African ancestry but not identify as black. And
that's
because I
right.
think Meghan Markle, she could never say, well, I think I'm white and I just have black ancestry. But there's no right answer for someone like her when the media gets involved. It's still binary when it comes to black or white.
Yeah,
You can be anything you want to be. But if, many people still say, well, one drop and that's it. And they're not open to discussion. So, a person can be this and this.
mm,
And maybe they can be this sometimes. And I'm not saying selectively a la carte, but they can be multifaceted. And depending on how the light hits, you'll see a different side of them. And I don't think we should try to immediately categorize it as, oh, that's the blackness, that's the whiteness, oh, that's something else, that's that. In the gray area, people are people.
But then I really started diving in because I thought,
Oh,
well,
I
has she
love
taken a
that.
DNA test? Which again, I kind of think DNA.
sorry, Edna.
Well, I'm saying I love that when he said people are multifaceted. Depending on how the light hits is what you see.
Mm-hmm.
Mm,
That was so good.
it's very true. Because I think one of the things that I found most offensive when somebody said about my daughter was that they naturally assumed that I would see being white as a more positive thing than
Mm-hmm.
being black. That's what I found really offensive. And this was coming from a black person.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought, hang on a minute, this has got to be projection because why is it seen that, oh, I must be more proud of her because she's got, she's white presenting, than I would be proud of my son who isn't white presenting.
I
And I
think
think
it's
that's a
Because
projection.
people are.
yeah.
People
Yeah.
definitely are very colorist, and they,
Yes.
like we see it on social media all the time, and people are
Mm-hmm.
getting called out for being like, oh, my daughter isn't as light as I thought, or her hair isn't as silky as I thought it would be, or blah blah blah, because they're, you know, Latino or whatever, and the father is black, and the child
Mm-hmm.
comes out very obvious. They're very what's the word? Visually black.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then especially too, like throughout the world, how people are lightening their skin. It happens in Africa. It happens in Asia. Like they're trying to get as close to
India,
whiteness as
everywhere.
possible. Hmm.
Mhm. I said India as well.
Mm-hmm.
Do they?
Yes.
Yeah, I had Indian roommates, a lot of Indian roommates, and um, they're very well. Let me say. I just had girls who were like darker than me, and I could tell that they like internalized feelings around the color of their skin.
Mm-hmm.
I know that in the Indian uh, nationality, race, whatever, can't think of the right word. Getting tired. It's late. Um, I know that there is like and it still happens. There's a caste system
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
within,
Yes.
you know, the Indian, Pakistani, Bangladeshi
Mm-hmm.
communities, and that is generally based on the color of their skin.
Mm-hmm.
And
Oh, is there?
oh, yes,
Mm-hmm.
absolutely. And so they look at a lighter skinned Indian as being in a higher position to a darker skinned. And that's why it's like a lot of Bangladeshi people, and I don't like to generalize without doing any research, but a lot of Bangladeshi people are very dark. I think it's because they come from the south, southern
Mm-hmm.
India, and they're very dark, whereas the, you know, Pakistanis are generally lighter. So in their system, in their class system and their racist system, um, they look at, you know, Bangladeshis as being beneath them, and
Mm-hmm.
that's why, especially over here, we get a lot of Indian restaurants that actually aren't Indian restaurants. They're Bangladeshi um,
Oh.
restaurants. And I learnt that from one of my besties who happens to be Pakistani.
Uh-huh.
And we were talking about, oh, I said, you know, I got a meal from such and such place in town the other day. And she said, oh, well, that's actually a Bangladeshi restaurant. I said, oh, well, why doesn't it say Bangladeshi? You don't normally see that. You know, it's always Indian cuisine or whatever. And she explained it. And she said, because in the Indian culture, you know, Bangladeshi is seen as lower than. And I thought that's just so awful, you know. And
Mhm.
so even within, dare I say, brown or black communities, colorism is very strong, even today.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Um, no, it's not even that no, it's not that. It's not that. It really is down to the Bangladeshis being seen as lesser than.
Mm-hmm.
Really is. And, you know, I take everything that my friend tells me as read because she's been through it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, she's gone through it, and I can't go into her details, but yeah, trust me, she's gone through it. And I'm not going to put it down to a religion thing or anything like that. I'm just going to say that, you know, the Indians, or, you know, okay, the Asians, if you like, are very uh, class or caste sensitive, and not in a good way.
I think
Um,
it's I think as
yeah,
far as
go
this
on.
Asian, yeah, this Asian comment, Capone is saying that the working outside, you're going to be darker than the indoor higher class. I don't at this point in time. Maybe way back in the day that had something to do with it, but this point in
Yeah,
time, I think it's basically trying to get as close to whiteness as possible. Because even in the Asian areas, you hear about them with their lightening creams trying to get lighter. And
yeah.
then the also the eye surgery that many Asians get to have rounder eyes.
Are you
So
talking more about Chinese though in this
yes, yes,
instance?
yes.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And they are very, very, they're white skinned nowadays, aren't they? And when they do
Nope.
like, um, th- I mean, they used to be, I might be talking out of my arse, I don't know, but I believed Japanese and Chinese had the same complexion. But nowadays, it's very easy just by looking at the complexion that they present to see the difference between the Japanese and the Chinese. Am I right in saying that?
I don't think so.
Okay, all right,
Yeah,
that's just
I'm
my
I
observation.
I think that is like we should be careful not to think of like Japanese, Chinese, like any type of person or like nationality or ethnicity as like one thing because
hmm
there's a variance
hmm
among even like the same type of people, right?
Yeah,
because
yeah,
I because because there are darker Chinese, lighter Chinese. Same with the Japanese. Like it's shades of people. They're all shades of
Mhm.
people.
And you do have
Mm,
indigenous people to like, to different areas. And I think, what is it? I think it's in Australia where you have indigenous people that are very dark.
Hmm.
yeah. Australia is a whole nother thing.
Hmm.
Completely.
Hmm.
And also I think you have to remember that, yeah, the indigenous people of Australia would probably, I don't know. I don't know an awful lot about Australia, but I believe, they do have indigenous people over there, but I'm not going to speak on it because I don't know much about that. But what I do know
Mhm.
is that the Brits colonized it and then decided to send all their criminals over
Hmm.
to to Australia.
Well,
Ah,
that's what
they
they did.
emptied their prisons.
That's what they
And
did to America too. You
what,
guys
the
sent
Brits?
yes, you guys sent a whole bunch of criminals over to America too. Yes, to
Sorry
colonize.
about that. Had nothing to do with me. Had nothing to do with me. And I tell you what, I guess I'm lucky that I was brought up here because I could have been sent on any boat. Honestly, my mother couldn't give a toss where she sent me. So yeah. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Of course, they're Aboriginal people, and they are quite dark, aren't they? Yes. Yes,
They
Barley, thanks.
the Aboriginal people that I've seen in Australia via television and the internet, they call themselves black. The ones that I've seen,
Do they?
black. Hmm. Hmm.
Well, they
They
are
are
very
black. What do you
dark.
mean?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Because there was a whole big Black Lives Matter movement over there as well.
Good.
Hmm.
Glad to hear it. Right, so a lot of the Australians are
Samoans are black.
Australians like British hillbillies. The British. Right, okay. There's a hell of a lot of Brits over there. Not only like from over recent years, but way back in the day, when we had problems with prisons being overcrowded, we sent an awful lot over to Australia. And that's why a lot of Australians are a bit dodge, as we would say.
Hmm.
They're
Well,
a bit dull. Might be all right nowadays, but back in the day, they were all criminals.
mhm. But
Um,
Capone says that they look Samoan, the Aboriginal people of Australia. Samoans were black as well.
yeah, yes. Okay, Barley coming through with some more info we need to know. In New Zealand, you have the Maori traditional people that still also keep their culture alive and do
They're black
tattoo
too.
faces and so much more body art that is considered normal there. Yeah, and I think we colonised that as well
Yeah,
because
because
I know the Queen
Oh, yeah.
goes visiting over there.
The
Well, it's just
Maoris were
now.
they were black too. The Maoris were black too at one point in time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it'd
So
be
what do you
interesting
think
to
about
find out
that?
what.
Like, okay, so you know how, like, in general, tattoos are looked down in like America, in like like Western cultures, right? Like, yeah, in certain atmospheres or contexts, they're acceptable or cool, but like corporate or commercial, whatever, is not a good thing. But what about these cultural tattoos? Like,
I
you
love them.
like
I love them.
how does that fit in?
How does it fit in with who?
Yeah, well, we never see. Well, I mean, I'm saying like there's no representation for it. Or there's very little that I see.
Oh, I think there is. I think there's a lot more nowadays. It's like I've got a tattoo. My last tattoo, is like, what do they call it? God, it's quite tribal. You
Oh,
do see a lot of tribal tattoos. Maybe not in America, but definitely over here they do.
Oh, okay. There was a story that went viral not too long about a woman who was like heavily like visually tatted, and she didn't get a job, and she was just like, "Oh, I could just tell it's because of my tattoos and blah blah blah." It was just an interesting discussion that was going around, and I was just
mhm.
wondering, I'm just posing the question if the tattoo uh significance comes from cultural influence, does that really have any impact
No,
on, like how it's accepted?
I don't have a tramp stamp. All my tattoos are on my arms. But yeah, going back to whether they're acceptable now, I think in Europe they definitely are. Much more acceptable. When I worked in schools, I had to hide my tats. Um, so I've got a couple of hand tattoos now that I could never have when I worked in schools. And I
Yeah.
think it's the same. I think anyone that worked in like government business, no, they couldn't have tattoos. The cops couldn't have tattoos. Doctors couldn't have tattoos. Now I don't know whether doctors can have tattoos now. Maybe they can have hidden tattoos, and I know that cops can have hidden tattoos. But I know by watching a lot of true crime videos, I know a lot of your American police have tattoos.
I think it's becoming more acceptable now, because at one point in time, like, you couldn't show anything. I remember I had a job years ago where you can barely see my nose ring. They made me take out my nose ring. Like, you couldn't have any piercings, no tattoos. Yeah.
I still don't have a nose ring because of that. Like, because I work as an accountant. So I'm like, nobody wants to see their accountant with like pink hair and a nose ring or whatever,
Really? Really? Even in
I
today's
don't think
world?
so. No. I mean, I nearly gagged a man when I told him I was an accountant. It's just like, I think people have such a stereotype of who they think you are by looking at you. And it's like, just because I look a certain way doesn't mean I'm anything like that.
Wow, that's insane. In New
And
Zealand,
that's not even me being quirky. I'm not even one of those quirky Black girls that like learns Japanese. I'm just like, we all aren't the same.
I think Bali's talking about in New Zealand, there's a new reporter, and I think that's good. I don't see that people shouldn't have tattoos, and that's probably because I've got them. But I see tattoos as a way of expressing yourself. All right, you get some idiots, especially British football hooligans, or British young men or women who go to Ibiza and think it's funny, like when they're drunk, to have some stupid tattoo put on them. I'm not including those. I'm including.
I don't know, Jen. I met a woman once who had a face tattoo, and
Oh.
she was a good time.
She was a good time.
Yeah, she had like a tiger on her face, right? And I forgot how we ended up like crossing paths, like friends of friends. When you're in college, you be like, I like soda, let's be best friend. You just run off to the dorms together. So anyway, we're hanging out and we meet, like we run into our boyfriend. And turns out we had the same birthday, and it's like coming up in the weekend. They're like, you gotta come to the birthday. So, it's just so fun. I just feel like somebody who's gonna put a face tattoo or put a tattoo on their face, you know what I mean? I don't know. They got a story to tell. They're probably a good time. I don't know.
I mean, that's
In my
one thing
experience.
that I would never have. I would never have a face tattoo. I don't know. No, I'm not keen on them, to be honest.
You wouldn't do
That's
like
my
Amber Rose and get your children's names tattooed across your hairline or your forehead?
No, I put them on my
No?
arm. I put them on my arm,
Okay.
and I like I don't know. I like artistic tattoos, and wherever I am, if I see somebody that's got a nice tattoo, I'll say something about it.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
I see it as an artistic expression. That's the way I see it. And some people, it's not. Some people, you can just tell they've just got pissed one day, and they've had this thing put on them, and it's got no meaning to it. But funny
The
enough,
thing
I
is,
was in a shop the other day, and a woman said, "Oh, I love your tattoos," And I said, "Oh, thanks very much." And she said, "Have they got any meaning?" And I said, "Yeah, they do." And I told her the meaning, and she sort of glazed over. And no, she didn't. But yeah, I mean, my tattoos mean something. So, but I mean, that's just me as personal thing.
That's
But
what
I
I was
think
gonna say, Jen. Like the lady just glanced up, like the meeting. I mean, it's awesome if
glazed
it means
over.
something, but it doesn't matter, if it looks good. And I think a lot of it comes like, if you pay for it. I think people like want a cheap tattoo, but they want it to be nice. And it's like the quality tattoos I've seen are expensive.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, my last tattoo, um, what's that? The mandala. That's what it is. It's like a mandala. There's a lot of those going
Oh,
around. But
mm-hmm.
my other tattoos are very personal to me. They've got a real meaning to them, and I'm not going to go over it now. But the mandala one is the first one that I just went for the look,
Mm-hmm.
really,
Mm-hmm.
because the other ones
Well,
really
I thought,
mean something. So
yeah,
Barley
well,
says
there was a company a few years ago. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Barley says I have zero tattoos and never would make one. Or never would have one. There is enough places I can display art. Why my skin? But that's just me. Right, I'll answer that. And it's one of the reasons why I have got tattoos. And it's because I see there's certain things that are so important to me, like my family, music, and art. That's why. Oh, and my family. I don't know if I said that, but that I want them to be. Shut up, laughing. That I want them to be a part of me.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense? So that I mean, it doesn't matter when I die, but I just want that part of me. I'll tell you, one of the tattoos I got was of my granddaughter who was diagnosed with leukemia when she was 2.5.
Mm-hmm.
And within the first week, I got her name tattooed on me. And the reason I
Oh,
did that is weird because I wanted to forget, but it's like waking up every morning and just seeing her name on my arm just reminded me that what she was going through. And yeah,
I
that's
just
why
thought
I've got her name on
it's,
there. And the
it
other
seemed like that was
ones,
a way for
I've
you to
got,
always have a piece of her.
that's
Mm-hmm.
it. Yeah, because we didn't know if she was going to make it.
Mm-hmm.
And it was so important to me to have her name. And especially as I came up with the name. Um, and
Oh,
so I've got that on there. And then, I don't know, a few months later, I thought I want to put something around it to make it look, you know, uh, just sort of tie in the design. So I had like a rose put on in front of her because her middle name is Rose, and some vines. So that's on one hand, and then when she recovered, that's not the word. When she was cured, her last bout of chemo, I went and I got another tattoo on my. That's where I got my hand from. No, what I did, I got believe written, right? And then when she finished treatment, I got this big vine put on my hand. So, and that's linked to the stars of believe. And that reminds me what she went through
Mm-hmm.
and that you have to believe. So,
Yeah.
yeah, they're my really personal ones that I wasn't going to talk about, but as usual, I do. Hi,
well, thank you for sharing,
Rosie.
Jan.
That's all right. And I never regret it. So, I mean, getting the mandala one was purely for art's sake, put it that way. But all the other ones are very
Oh,
personal.
That's what I was gonna say. When it comes to like just for art's sake, there was a company that was talking about having like semi-temporary tattoos where they only last for like 1 to 3 years. It turns out they
Oh,
last a little bit longer, but but they kind of just fade away. And like in theory, they just kind of fade away and you end up with nothing. But some stuck a little bit longer. Some people it ended up being permanent, and then some it was real patchy as it faded.
Hmm.
yeah, I wouldn't like that. If I'm going to have one, I want it to last forever. What about you, Bridge? Have you got any?
How many? I have like, I think I have 3 tattoos, but they're all
Mhm.
in places that are not like visible. Because I remember I got my first tattoo when I was like 18, and then
Mhm.
I got in trouble. But my mom didn't know. My mom didn't know for a real long time until I went over her house. I was spending the night. I took a shower, came out of the shower, had a towel wrapped around me, and I was getting my clothes out of the dryer. And she was passing by. And she's like, "What is that? What is that?" She's rubbing it like it's gonna come off. What is it?
No.
Was it like on
Oh,
your shoulder or something?
Yep, it was like it was on my shoulder, but I'm like on my back. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
oh my God. See, I like to see all of mine. I think because they're all personal, I like to see them. So I haven't got any that I can't see.
Mm-mm.
It's probably because I'm a narcissist as well. But anyway, let's carry on. But it's quite an interesting conversation, isn't it? Because some
Mhm.
people, I think, still have quite sort of old-fashioned views on them.
Mhm.
And some people do see them as a way of sort of tainting their body, if you
Mhm.
like. And I don't see it like that at all. I see it as if I was younger, I'd have a lot more. But no, I love them.
Be different features. Me, I look more like my mother's friend, and that kind of threw me off. And so I felt these kind of feelings of people kind of disassociating you with family members. There was another instance where there was actually an office party at my family's office. There was a gentleman walking or talking to a family friend, and I walked into the room and kind of said hello, and just kind of was there. And the gentleman said, well, "Can I? Do you need to ask us something? Can I help you?" He thought I was the help, and I
Wow.
was like, "No, actually, I'm."
Tired of typing tons of notes during class? There's
God, that is awful. Okay, let's go back.
I'm Jeremy Simeon. This is my family. Oh, am I? This guy was kind of a big deal. I won't say his name, but a well-known person. I could tell he felt like, whoa. But it was funny because he was talking to a family friend who was white, and he's a white guy, and then he sees a man of color, and automatically assumes, well, he obviously must work here, or not in the sense of working at the office, but as a caterer or something like that.
I'm hearing these, I'm realizing like you're experiencing what you would say privilege on one side, but on the other side, a lack of privilege. It's kind of like it depends on who sees you, just kind of like what treatment you're going to get, like how they're feeling that day. Just lack of consistency, I think, maybe for people of mixed backgrounds, and I think you know this too, you can lean into things or you can lean away from them. So like maybe I'll post a picture. I've never posted one of this, but my natural hair. But like there's almost like we can lean into this or lean into that. Like maybe
Yeah, that's both my girls have got hair like that, very curly. But one of them's blonde. Get over it.
Meghan Markle, I have pictures. I've saw pictures of her natural hair. You saw her with her natural hair. You don't think she's a pure white kid.
Yeah.
She has her hair relaxed now. I don't know. Like, what do you think about that? Yeah, is it camouflage? Like, what is it? And like, sometimes it's not. Just like I like having my hair straight. It's easier. It's hard for me to do my hair, but it changes how people respond to you and how they see you.
Yeah, what are you going to say, Edna? Are you going to say something now?
Well, I mean, just her wearing her hair straight would probably be just for convenience alone. Like she's, always on the go. She needs to look put together, and it's easier to be like consistent with straight hair than I think it is with curly hair. Because humidity and different things, and if you have a hat or something, it could crush your hair, and you gotta fluff it. It's a whole thing.
That's true. I went through a period of time when my kids were much younger, where I used to go to the hairdressers to get my hair straightened and relaxed. And the black hairdressers that I used to go to, they're normally African hairdressers that I used to go to. I think probably because they didn't realize I was mixed, would burn my scalp. They would use the wrong strength of relaxer on my hair, because my hair is quite fine. It's actually, I would say, probably like this one of Meghan's. That's my natural hair, I would say. So I would go in there, and they'd burn my scalp. And then they'd say, oh, well, your hair's very fine. You've just got a lot of it. And in the end, I gave up, and I realized that I could just go in and have it washed and straightened by hairdryer quite easily. I can just blow dry my hair straight. But they
Have you
haven't.
ever tried the keratin treatment?
No, what's that? What
Bridget,
treatment?
Bridget, do you know what it is? It's like I don't know. I think they call it like is it Brazilian blowout?
Brazilian. I think it's Brazilian.
Yeah, but then I've also heard of it attached to like Korean something. Like but I don't know, the process that I've seen is that it's like a solution that they put on the hair and they flat iron it to, like, I guess, heat activate it or whatever, and it keeps your hair straight, but it's not permanent.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. What, they still do that today?
Mm-hmm.
Well, this was big, like, I don't know, maybe a decade or two ago, but I'm sure they still do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I used to get my hair chemically straightened as well. That's what I was talking about. They used to use these chemicals, and in the end, I thought I'm going to end up bald at this rate because
Yeah,
these women don't know, you know, what my hair's really like. I wouldn't do it nowadays. No, I wouldn't. I
me
wouldn't.
either.
But then I have to say, I mean, I generally wear my hair curly most of the time, but if I'm going somewhere, I normally blow dry it, or I've got straighteners. I just use straighteners on it. But I can't be bothered to blooming straighten it every day, and I don't think it does your hair any good to straighten it.
Yeah, it
Um,
doesn't.
No.
Bridge, I know
Mhm.
your hair looks quite straight.
Mhm.
Um, what do you do? Do you do straighteners or do you use hair relaxers?
Yeah, I am. I am addicted to the hair relaxers.
Are you? Do you do it yourself?
Bridge, how did you
Yes.
survive?
What do you
Because
mean?
these last few years, it's been natural, natural, natural. Like,
I know.
didn't they start calling relaxers creamy crack and stuff? Like, it was
Yeah,
rough out here if you were
look,
getting a relaxer.
I was just about to say I'm addicted to the creamy crack because
Yeah,
I
it's
tried.
okay, girl.
Yeah, I tried to go natural and I said I can't do it. I can't. I couldn't handle it. I didn't know what to do with my hair. I did not know what to do.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm like, Jan, my hair is too fine for relaxer.
Yeah. I mean, I can. You probably can do it, Edna. How do you wear your hair
Well,
now?
I've
Do you have
tried.
it natural?
Actually, I've started. Well, I don't want to call it his job, but I just started like covering my hair,
With a wrap.
but it is natural.
Yeah.
So right now, I'm thinking of locking it, like getting I don't want to say like sister locks, but like small locks.
Mm-hmm.
I'm so tempted to go and get mine braided again because I love my braids. But the only thing
Mm-hmm.
is, my hair's quite long now. It's like below my shoulders, and I just don't think they're going to do a good job with it. And I definitely don't want them cutting it. So I'm like, what do I do? And also, braids aren't good for your hair. So Capone says, I hated my hair curly so much. I used to straighten it every day, but my husband loved curly hair. And now I finally like and embrace my hair. Yeah, good.
Aw.
That's good. Um, I always thought Bridget's hair was natural straight. No. I mean, when I first saw Bridge, I thought maybe because it is so long, Bridge.
Okay.
You must have been growing that out for a long time,
No,
girl.
No. We mess with the extensions as well. So
Oh, okay. Bridget's coming out with the truth here, truth bombs. Do you know what? I didn't think his lock extensions looked that bad. I really didn't.
they were too thick. I
Yeah,
thought
they
they were
were
too
very
thick.
thick.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I like all
Ah,
different types of locks. So, there's a girl that I follow on YouTube. She has like semi freeform locks, and I think they look so great on her.
Hmm.
semi-free what?
Semi freeform. So, like completely freeform is you don't really do anything to your hair, and you'll
Yeah,
like see like the weekend where it's just kind of like one or two big dreads in your head or locks.
yeah,
Semi freeform is you like go through and you separate it and you kind of like do some maintenance to it, but you
yeah,
don't flat out retwist it.
yeah. Oh, I worked in a hairdresser for a while, in Nigerian hairdresser for a while, and some of these boys would come in there, they've not had anything done with their hair for a long time, and I'm talking about teenagers, and I don't know how she got through there. I don't know how she got through these locks, and then had to put some
So
more in, and I'm like, my God, but yeah, she does a good job, and every so often I'm tempted. My one of my son's girlfriends is Nigerian, and she started wearing braids, and it's like every time she comes visiting, I'm like, I want my hair braided again. I just love the braids. I love it. So, Bridge,
Mhm.
i- you could have you ever had braids? Have you ever gone with braids before, like thin braids?
A long time ago. You know what? I got some tiny braids one time, and I said I would never do it again because
Mm,
it took so long to come out. Like I was crying because I
mm.
thought that these braids were never going to come out.
I know. I remember
yeah, those
sitting
micros
down.
were the worst.
Hmm.
Ugh,
Yeah.
I got them quite thin. I'm not sure if they were micro, but they were thin enough. And oh my God, I thought, well, there's no way I'm getting her to take them out. I'm gonna have to sit here and do it all myself. And
Hmm.
it took hours. People
Hmm.
don't realise
So I
that,
just
you know.
cut it.
You can't.
I'm unhinged
Some people
sometimes. Like I swear, because when I'm tired with my hair, I will just cut it all off.
Do you know, you sound like my daughter. One of my daughters is like that. She had her hair in a pony the other day, and I said, "Oh, your hair looks shorter." She went, "Oh yeah, Mum, I got fed up with it, so I cut it." I went,
Mm-mm.
she said, "Oh, I was watching something. I was watching on Instagram, and some girl was doing it like you put your hair in a pony and then you just cut it." And I went, "Oh my God, did you?"
Oh, I love
Oh.
those videos. Like the Brad Mondo,
Yes.
when it's a fail, is so funny.
Do you remember that girl who did the gorilla tape or whatever it was
Oh,
called?
the
Oh
Gorilla
yeah,
Gorilla
Glue.
glue?
Blue,
Hmm.
Blue. Yeah,
Can
that
you
was
Hmm.
that was
believe that?
She's so stupid.
I
She's so dumb.
Oh
do.
my God.
people
Listen,
saying,
y'all,
you're
people are putting LED light glue. Like they're setting their lashes well with LED.
No.
Yes.
Oh
Hmm.
my God.
Or UV, I may be saying it wrong, but like gel nails, that glue, they're using
Oh
that on their
no.
eyelashes.
No.
Oh, well, they're
Right?
mad. They're going to end up
People are
losing their
letting,
lashes.
yeah, people are getting like veneers from unlicensed people.
Oh
Oh
yeah.
They
It's
call them
no.
veneer techs. Like it's crazy.
Hang on, what's this? Fun fact, the Gorilla Glue hair lady made it far in, what's TGE?
Yeah, I don't know that either.
I don't know. I just want to read what Capone put here. Your mama said to Monty, "Why'd you let a white woman install your dreads?" And Monty goes, "How did she know she was what? How did he know she was white?" Oh my God, how embarrassing. He didn't. He didn't. Okay.
Oh, we're the worst cooks of America.
Yeah, she was crazy. Okay, let's get on with this.
You're trying to camouflage who you are, and then I could see the other side of that. It's like, no, you like the way that looks, because I don't think it's a secret that many people of African descent do put products in their hair. If we flip the coin, we see quite a number of people of European descent go into these tanning beds, right? So it's kind of strange how we both want to look a certain way, but nobody wants to be treated lesser because of our looks. I like what you said about leaning in, because I've felt that before. There are moments when I am a recipient of privilege. I remember going to an antique store with my family member and picked up a book on Louisiana history, plantations. And the lady said, "Where are y'all from?" And this was out of state. And I said, "Well, I'm from Louisiana, Baton Rouge." This was nearby. It's in Mississippi. And I said, "What about you?" "Well, I'm from Louisiana, but we moved once the school's integrated." She felt comfortable telling me that.
Oh.
And I assume now that she thought, well, they're not black. They might be some, but they're not the people I'm about to talk about. And she felt comfortable saying that. And so I would say that a person like Meghan Markle, who has obviously probably experienced that, where you're like, you want to say something. And I've heard this phrase before, incognito, where it's kind of incognito. I think it's also an album, a Ludacris album. I've seen where somebody has used it and it's personal to them because they're mixed race, they're biracial, and they use that term. They're incognito, meaning incognito, not easily spotted and kind of undercover, if you will. And I think, I think if you look mixed race, depending on your audience, depending on where you are, and people have said this to me, like, "Oh, well, if you're outside of Louisiana, you wouldn't be black of all this and that." I was like, well, wherever I am, I'm who I am.
Exactly. Yes, I'm glad you understand that. I'm glad I've explained it a bit better this time. But guys, we're 2 hours in, so I think let's do the second part next Wednesday. What do you think, girls? I think that would be
Sounds
good.
good.
Because my allergies are starting to play up. And this is just shut your face, Edna.
Why are you dragging us for using allergies? What is wrong with allergies, girl?
I don't
Allergies.
know.
What's wrong with that?
I don't know, actually. I don't know. But yeah, I think this is such a good subject, and it's nice we can just sit and we can share things in the chat like we just have. Thanks for that, guys. And also the girlies, you can chat about it, which I think is nice. So let's do a part 2. Let's do a part 2 next week. And we can add some other bits to it, because I think there's so many different things we can share about it as well. What say you, girls?
Sounds good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great.
Let's do it.
Yep. Well, thanks for coming on as usual. You're great. And thanks also to the chat for coming on, coming in, keeping us company. So nice to see all three of you. So nice. But anyway, guys, Friday. What's happening on Friday? It's Drama Friday. It's Drama Friday. So
much drama going on.
Is there?
I know your mama he is so hurt that he's on vacation right now.
Oh, is he?
Sorry, your mama. Yeah,
Oh,
he's doing. Huh?
Hasn't he just got back from Mexico? What's he doing on vacation again?
It's the summertime. The kids are out. They're probably, lined up vacations. I know when the summer was out, we were always doing something because you don't have to be in school.
Yeah, that's true. I don't think he ever went to school, but that's another thing. That's another thing. So yeah, we have got a lot. We've got a lot to go over, and hopefully I can organise my live stream a bit better, and we can talk on it. It's going to be a good one, guys. Friday, so make sure you come along. So I'm going to say farewell. Thanks to everybody who came. Thanks to everybody who's clicked on the video. Always lovely to see you. All. You take care of yourselves out there, because trust me, it's a rotten old world. Bye bye for now.